Shaun, we've had countless conversations over the last 5 years since you took the England job. This one probably the most exciting of the lot.
Yeah, I'd say so, Lewis. It's a big one for me personally. I've done quite a lot in rugby league, and the chance to coach against the Aussies, the best team in the world, in an Ashes in my own town, in my own country, is very, very special, and I'm not going to miss it.
Squad's out today, of course. When you look at that 24, how many would you say you picked? How many picked themselves?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I'd say half and half. There's lots of form players in, but there's lots of players in who I know will perform for me in an England shirt, and that's my job as an head coach. There's certain players you just know you can get a good tune out of them, and are very loyal to me, and to get the job done at the highest pressure game you can imagine, and it won't be any more high pressure than what we're going to get next week at Wembley against Australia. So I'd say it was half and half.
I'll just pick up on a few of the names that are in there for the first time, and some of the ones that are back in there after a while out. Just if you could explain to me sort of what stood out and why they're in the squad. We'll start off with the high profile debut pick in AJ Brimson from the NRL. What was it about him that caught your eye?
Well, he's a talent. He's quick. He's fast twitch. He's a competitor. Very, very skillful. He phoned me up, convinced me that he considers himself like a proud. He loves his heritage, where his mum's from, and he's really, really proud to make his family proud by playing for England. So I was convinced, like I was when I spoke to Victor Radley. So that was an easy pick for me. He's going to add something, and if ever I go to people who are from Australia, they're going to have to be a lot better than what we've got in England, and AJ just gives us something different.
And Owen Trout, one of the real sort of success stories of this Betfred Super League season.
Great lad, fast twitch, very confrontational, runs hard, very tough, good skills, definite English player, and when he gets his chance, I'm not sure when it's going to be, but when he gets his chance, the Aussies might not know where he is. But after the playing against him, hopefully they will then.
Back in the team after a while out, Alex Walmsley.
Yeah, good player. What I've been impressed about Al with is if Saints win by first goal, I don't watch the game. But if Saints are in a really tight arm wrestle test match style game, I watch intently, and that's when Al Walmsley comes alive and plays really well when the pressure's really on, and that impresses me so much. So that's why Al Walmsley's in.
Callum Watkins, obviously a player that had a strange season with what happened with the Salford situation, end up in Leeds, but has he proved to you again that he's still test match standard world-class player? Yeah,
he's a great player. I think he's done a fantastic job for Leeds. When I watched him, he did a great job for Salford, and when he's trained with us the last few weeks in our squad, he's been really good. His hunger to play for England and represent us again is just as high. So it was a pleasure to get him in the squad.
There'll be a lot of armchair coaches, myself included, that are looking at this 24 and trying to piece together how it might look in a week and a half's time. But I suppose, especially when you look at some of the combinations around the halves and how you might use that, was a lot of your selection that you're probably going to need plan A, B and C, maybe more, to beat Australia?
Yeah, I look at it very differently compared to what a lot of people look at it, and I have to consider the weather, how the weather's going to be, and what sort of players would excel in that sort of type of weather, and what hour and a half kicks, what foot he kicks off, and certain skills of certain players. So it's not just all about what our player performs. There's a lot involved. What sort of characters here? Can they handle 4 weeks of really, really intense scrutiny and tough days? And that's not suitable to everybody. So it's not just touching your finger and hoping for the best. There's lots of thought gone into this 24, and we believe as staff that we picked the best 24.
And I suppose in a similar vein, do you feel like you've given yourself options wherever you need to break the door down or pick the lock in this series, so to speak?
Yeah, 100%. But they're going to be 3 brutal tests, and there's going to be injuries, and hopefully, it might come down to who can turn the best team out in the 3rd test, and hopefully we've nailed that. The amount of talent and the amount of positions them players can play in, will hopefully stand us in good stead.
You mentioned talent, and of course the two are not mutually exclusive, but when you're picking a squad for a 3-game series, especially against Australia, is there an element of that kind of balance between talent and toughness?
Yeah, there is. Mental toughness. Playing test matches, Lewis, is very, very different. You're in a tough place. Players are suffering, and we still need them to do certain things. And that's the difference between a good Super League player and a test match player. And only certain players can deliver that. And I believe that the 24 pick can all dig deep and deliver that when we need it. And that's going to be a massive strength for us.
I know you've had this larger elite squad kind of a rolling thing, and you've been feeding bits of information back to them and improvement points. But to kind of turn it back onto yourself, how have you almost given yourself those improvement points as a coach and analysing what you've done over the last 5 years and analysing what you need to do as Shaun Wane to get England to beat Australia?
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think about it every day, and I'm obsessed about continuous improvement. And I look what happened in the World Cup and how we failed in the semi-final. I look at the success we had against Samoa and Tonga and things we did well, but not just that, things what we need to do better. So everything's reflected on Lewis. Everything I do is what worked, how did it work, how do we make it more intense, and if it didn't work, what do we need to change, and I've done that throughout my 5 years with England.
And over those 5 years, obviously we've had 2 series against Tonga and Samoa. How valuable have those been? Because I guess this is where the distinction really is between the club and international coaching. If I was talking to you as a club head coach ahead of a grand final or a cup final, you'd have reams and months of kind of tactical insight and data into your opposition. We know Australia are going to be good. We've not seen Australia play for a while as an Australian team.
Yeah, and that is tough, but we all watch a lot of the NRL. We know what they do as an individual. As individuals, but what they'll do collectively as a team is a bit unknown, and we're going to have to find out at Wembley. But what we're in control of is what we do, how we do it. We're going to have a good few weeks before the test match, and it's going to be a lot of fact finding, a lot of detail delivered to the players, and they're going to have to be very good to take it on board and make sure we deliver the best we can. As long as they see the best of us on Saturday at Wembley, then we've got a chance to win the game.
I just want to touch on Wembley. Some interesting comments from your football counterpart this week, Thomas Tuchel, about the atmosphere, the England crowd for their game against Wales being subdued when they were 3-0 up. How much of a role does the fan base and Wembley as a venue have to play in a successful series?
I think all venues, Lewis, I want it to be very English, very loud and very patriotic, and get behind the team, and whether you're happy with my selection or not, just put that to one side and get behind the team and help us get the win. To make it a real fortress at Wembley is, the RFL have done a great job. There's tens of thousands going to be there. The atmosphere is going to be through the roof. But the crowd and the atmosphere is so important, because the lads feed off that when they're walking out singing the anthem. There's no better feeling, and to know that the crowd's behind us and helping us get a win is going to be so important.
The atmosphere was electric on Saturday for the grand final. Just wondering what you made of that kind of final series and that lead in terms of the intensity and the environment that it was putting your England players in, preparing them for this.
Yeah, good question. A few weeks ago I was into the players about our standards, well, quite a while ago now, and when the games got a bit more important, then the intensity definitely improved, and so I'm happy. I thought the grand final was very test match like. It's not quite a test match, but it's very, very intense, and the best team won, and all the players what played in that will deliver the best performance next Saturday, no doubt about that.
And in terms of the emotional side of it, I know there is an element of managing emotions, but I guess a big part for you often talk about how much this job means, how patriotic you are. I guess there's a big part of your job now is to also play on those emotions with your players and make sure that they're bouncing off the walls for these 3 games.
Yeah, and they will be. They'll know that this is really, really important moving forward. My job is to make sure that they understand that they need to get the job done, and it's about just doing all the simple things really well in the game, and at the end when the referee blows the whistle, and then it's really important to we've either won a test or lost a test, and we just need to make sure we put ourselves in that position that we can win it.
Final question then, Shaun, probably the easiest one I'll ask. What will it mean if we're here in 4 or 5 weeks' time and you've just beaten Australia?
Well, I mean, everything to the competition, everything to UK Super League and the RFL, and it will give us a massive lift because we've not done it for 55 years and we can't seem to beat Australia. And I know it's a massive challenge and we need to be very good, but we need to make sure that Australia have to be good as well. And if we do that, then we've got a chance of winning.
Well, best of luck. Thank
Thanks
you for your
very
time.
much, Lewis. Thank you.